let me start with you. The president has come out to say he will actually meet with the Council of State and also the National Assembly on the outcome of...
Absolutely key. You know, the Council of State, they have experience. These are people that had governed this country. They have known where the shoe pinches in their own days. So they're going to bring in a lot of historical data to you, to the table, and say, hey, what you're proposing here, we did it in the 1970s and it didn't work. It works out this way. So they're going to, polish, so to say,
So we might be seeing some alterations.
Certainly, there's going to be alteration. They have also delegates have also said it's not a sacrosanct. It's not it's not a perfect biblical document, or it's just like the Holy Quran or something like that. At the end of the day, you still have the National Assembly being very, very sensitive as to, hey, we are the ones that were voted by the people. We have a lot more say in this issue. And so the president himself as an executive has to, demonstrate a lot of sensitivity. He has to also show leadership in the process and say, hey, we didn't bypass you. What we did was to try to get larger opinion from the society, eggheads who had also been in the field, people like Richard Akinjide himself, who was there in the judiciary, a very robust member, now aged though, bringing their own experience. The traditional rulers also there bringing their own experience. And so all this is very, very vital for you to deliberate on. Whether or not he's going to go through the referendum and bypassing the National Assembly is going to create, in my own opinion, it's going to create a lot of difficulties. Somehow, whether or not we like it, we need to bring the legislative process to see that they bite into this concept, so it will become a document that is actually accepted by all and sundry.
Before the national conference, Mr. Wazirike, the issue of plebiscite, referendum, was on the lips of many Nigerians. How will this actually come by if what the president has said? What's your take on that first, and the issue of referendum?
Well, most people expect that the moment we're through with the Constitution, there will be a referendum, and it will now become law, based on the fact that it is we, the people. But that is a revolutionary step. It's a revolution when you come to power in a way not prescribed by the existing Constitution. What does the existing Constitution say? Any amendment, in fact, the existing Constitution talks of only an amendment to the Constitution. Though it has no room for a new Constitution. And I remember when we came in, one of the governors from one of the states came there and told us, a small delegation, that look, this thing is a 10-year elongation for the president. Don't allow it, don't allow it. All of us said, what are you talking about? That we're here to discuss the framework for the Constitution. And the president said, even draft it and make your own bill. And he also reminded us that the present Constitution that is pending before the bill pending before the National Assembly is talking of a referendum for all future constitutional amendments, or even a brand new Constitution. That if by the time we finish, National Assembly passes the new one into law, then definitely there will be a referendum organized by the National Assembly. But what people have been expecting is that the moment we finished, to be subjected to a referendum by the people. In other words, they want to participate directly in what is going on.
Interesting. Well, Mr. Odumake, let me come to you. In fact, immediately after the national conference, some delegates have actually formed a pressure group to put sort of a pressure on the president when it says he's going to implement it.
Yeah.
When he said he's going to implement it, what do you foresee?
Well, I think I listened to the president very carefully, and I underline his words. That the executive arms of all arms of government and the people of Nigeria should be ready for the different roles this volume of report will assign to them. So, I disagree that the National Assembly has a greater say in the future of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria. Like I said, they are elected representatives, they are our agents. They are not the principals. And it's not their duty to constitute us. They are lawmakers. But the president has done well to say, okay, I'll go to them, I'll go to Council of State to get the buy-in of everybody. And I want to assure you, by the time we take these over scenarios, these volumes of reports, when we break it down to our people, and which we are going to do, because we are going around this country to take these glad tidings to our people, woe betides whoever says want to stand on the
on
way,
the way
of this.
honestly.
All right, gentlemen, we really don't have time, but I just want to give you, apart from what we've discussed today, loads and loads of things are in that particular report. But I just want to give you 1 minute each to just give your take on the whole matter and how you think this can work. Let me start with Mr. Lima.
I think what you have to know is that you have a great country called Nigeria, and the conference, once again, I thank them for thinking about a house united. But implementation requires serious work. Yeah. It requires money, it requires qualified men to handle those wonderful reports. It also requires the setting, the structures that are in place. So we need to appeal to Mr. President that having received this wonderful report, it should not lay on the table like other reports, gathering a lot of dust, unfortunately.
Yes, we have more than 10,000 pages in the 22 volumes with over 600 recommendations. Not all of them are legislative.
Yeah.
Some are executive, some are for the judiciary. Mr. President does not need anybody to tell him to execute the ones where he needs to make the policies. The Chief Justice of Nigeria has the power to issue practice directions. For the National Assembly, if any person there can stand up before his people and tell him that, tell them I want to throw away all these conference reports. Let him try it and see what will happen to him. But I will tell you, we the delegates, we burnt the midnight oil, and the record is there. So whether they like it or not, it is in existence.
All right. Mr. Abdul-Mateen.
Well, I think the president has made a bold move by convoking this conference. Now it has come to the successful end. The next stage now is implementation. My word to him, at the beginning of the next century, people remember that in the beginning of the former century, Lugard amalgamated Nigeria. At the beginning of this century, there was a president in Nigeria who gave Nigeria a charter for integration. So this will be a mortal thing for him. All the roads that have been built now will collapse. All the bridges, they will become dysfunctional. The legacy is going to live for Nigeria, eternal legacy. It's the social Nigeria along this accommodation. So he has to do it, and Nigerians have to support him, strengthen him to do it. We need it. We must move in a different direction.
Yinka Odumakin from delegates. Well, you guys are now former delegates.
Yes.
Former delegates to the National Conference. Godwin Azuruike, lawyer and a former delegate of the National Conference, and a former presidential candidate and a policy analyst, Katima Lima. They've been my guests on Politics Today. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts and making Nigerians feel the heat that you guys got from the National Conference. Well, my name is Sean Okimale on behalf of the team. Thank you for staying with us, and bye for now.